There. Today we are reading chapter 23 and chapter 24 of Escape from Mr. Lemoncello's Library. Yesterday we heard the perspective of Haley, and today I'm wondering if we're going to hear the perspective of another character or if both chapters will be in the perspective of Kyle. So let's find out. Kyle flipped over his lemon-scented super-duper bonus card and read what was written on the other side. You will find the ultimate version of this board game on the second floor balcony circling the rotunda. Huh, said Akemi. What's that mean? I don't know. Let's roll out the paper and see. Akemi and Sierra helped Kyle anchor the edges of the scroll to the tiled floor. Okay, said Kyle. It looks like the early sketch for a board game. See the circle in the center of the other circle? That's probably where you put the spinner. You move your pieces around 10 rooms. He stopped. Wait a second. What? Said Akemi. Do you recognize the game? Asked Sierra. Yep, said Kyle. I played it this weekend with my brother Curtis. It's Mr. Lemoncello's bewildering, baffling bibliomania. It takes place in a make-believe library. What about finding the ultimate version up on the second floor balcony? Asked Sierra. Kyle grinned. You'll see. Coming up from the basement, Kyle saw Andrew Peckelman in the middle of the rotunda reading room, opening a long metal box sitting in top of the center desk. The holographic image of Mrs. Tommen was there smiling patiently as Peckelman pulled some kind of magazine out of the box. Miguel also was near the librarian's desk, apparently waiting for his turn for his consultation. That's the box that we saw the robot pluck off the shelf, whispered Akemi. Kyle nodded. He motioned for the others to follow him, and he slipped around the circumference of the rotunda. Akemi and Sierra slunk after him. In the shadows on the far side of the room, they saw Haley Daly heading up the staircase they'd just come up. Steps that would take her back to the basement. Kyle wondered if she'd found something else to crawl through. If so, he hoped it was bigger than a mailbox this time. Is this a real magazine? He heard Peckelman shout at the hologram. Yes, Andrew. This concludes your librarian consultation. Next, how may I help you, Miguel? Not so fast, snapped Andrew. I'm not done. Your consultation just concluded, said Miguel. Says who? The librarian. Miguel, said the hologram of Mrs. Tommen. What is your question? Sorry, bro. I told you. She's just like Mrs. Youngins at school, snapped Peckelman. All the librarians like you better than me. Yo, ease up. You'll see, Mrs. Tommen. You'll all see. I'm going to beat Miguel Ferdinand big time. And when I win, I'm going to tell Mr. Lemoncello to fire you. She's a hologram, said Miguel with a laugh. You can't fire someone who actually doesn't exist. Then I'll tell Mr. Lemoncello to pull her plug. Peckelman grabbed his magazine and stormed out of the rotunda to the lobby. I guess Andrew's planning on doing something with the front door, whispered Kyle to Akemi. Well, that's totally dumb. They already told us the way we came in is not the way to get out. Maybe Andrew doesn't think Dr. Zinchenko was telling us the truth, suggested Sierra. Come on, said Kyle, leading his team toward the closest staircase up the second floor. Glancing over his shoulder, he watched Miguel place a slip of paper on the table in front of him of the semi-translucent librarian. This time, the item had been temporarily removed from the stacks, Miguel, said Mrs. Tommen. You will find it in a display case next to the original Winkle and Grimble scale model. Let me give you a location. There was a grinding sound like when movie tickets shoot up through the slot at the box office. Miguel snatched a small square of paper that popped up from the librarian's desk and spun around. He froze the instant he saw Kyle, Akemi, and Sierra sneaking around the room behind him. Hey, said Miguel, holding a tiny square of paper behind his back. Yo, said Kyle. What's up? Nothing, just working the puzzle. Yeah, us too. Okay, later. Both boys thumped their fists on their chest like baseball players do. Miguel turned and ran for the staircase, winding up to the second floor. Come on, you guys, said Kyle, as he took off running for a different set of steps. When Kyle, Nikimi, and Sierra made it up to the balcony, they watched Miguel run up to the third floor. As soon as he disappeared into the room, Kyle unrolled the game sketch. Look at the drawing, then look at the floor down below. They're the same. Exactly. A circular room with a round desk at the center of that circle. Awesome, said Akimi. And there are 10 doors ring around the balcony up here on the second floor, just like on the game board. Kyle tapped the rendering of the spinner in the right-hand corner of the game plans. See how the spinner is divided into 10 different colored sections numbered 0 to 9? It looks like the Wonder Dome, said Akimi, when it's not doing its kaleidoscope thing or running a video that makes the building think it's hanging and gliding across Alaska, which totally makes me airsick. Well, in the game, you have to go into all 10 Dewey Decimal books, book rooms, and answer a trivia question about the book. If you answer correctly, you slip a book into your bookshelf and move on to the other part of the library. When you have 10 books, one from each room, it's basically a race to see who can exit the library first. Okay, said Akimi, sounding pumped. This is good. This is major. Except one thing's missing, said Kyle. What? Asked Sierra. Mr. Lemoncello always works a clever backdoor shortcut into his games. For instance, in Family Frenzy, you can use the cold chute to slide down into a millionaire's mansion at the end, said Akimi. Exactly. And in the castle game, Charles snuck out through the sewers. Anyway, when my brother Curtis beat me in Bibliomania, you lost? Akimi acted surprised. It happens occasionally, but only because Curtis used his shortcut. Kyle tapped the black square on the game diagram. It took him straight out to the street. He beat me by one spin of a spinner. I don't see any black squares in the floor of our rotunda, said Akimi. Maybe, said Sierra, for this game Mr. Lemoncello put the secret squares someplace besides the main room. Kyle nodded. And maybe to win this new game, we have to play the old one. You're a genius, said Akimi. No, my brother Curtis is the genius. I just like to play games. So, do libraries even have board games? Sure, said Sierra. The library in my dad's town has them. Which department? Asked Akimi, pulling out her floor plan. Young adult. Akimi tapped her map. Third floor, stairs over there. Let's go, said Kyle. But before they could take off, they heard Mr. Lemoncello's voice echoing in the rotunda. Are you ready for your extreme challenge, Bridget? Kyle and his teammates peered over the ledge of the balcony. Bridget Wage was alone in front of the librarian's desk, staring up at the ceiling. Yes, sir, she said. Are you sure? Mr. Lemoncello's voice boomed out of the hidden speakers. You still have 22 hours to find the exit. I want to go for it now. Get a jump on everybody else. Very well. Dr. Zachenko, reset the statues. The 10 holographic statues in their recessed nooks flickered off, leaving black and empty spaces. This extreme challenge is based on the classic game of authors card game, said Mr. Lemoncello. Here are the authors in your deck. Magically new holographic statues appeared as Mr. Lemoncello rattled off the authors' names. Charles Dickens, Raymond Chandler, Edgar Allan Poe, Agatha Christie, Patricia Highsmith, Mario Puzo, Frederick Forsyth, John Le Carre, Dashiell Hammett, Fyodor Dostoevsky. He wrote Crime and Punishment, said Bridget. Indeed he did. In fact, said Bridget, all those authors wrote crime novels. Correct again. However, that's the easy part. Dr. Z, how do we make this author's game ridiculously difficult enough to qualify as an extreme challenge? Simple, the librarian's voice echoed under the dome. You will have 2 minutes, Bridget, to name 4 books written by each of our authors. Kyle gulped. That's impossible, he whispered. Not really, said Sierra. She was about to start rattling off titles when Mr. Lemoncello said, Go! The sound of the ticking clock reverberated around the room. Okay, said Bridget, down on the main floor. Agatha Christie, Murder on the Orient Express, 10 Little Indians, Death on the Nile, The Mousetrap. Somewhere a bell dinged, and the British lady in the sensible shoes disappeared. Poe, The Murderers of Rue Morgue, The Mask of Red Death, the Paranoid Letter, the Cask of Amontillado. Another ding. Another statue vanished. Bridget kept going. Man, whispered Kyle. What grade is she in? College? 7th, said Akemi. Just like us. Bridget Wage kept tearing through the authors. The bell kept dinging. But the clock kept ticking, too. 10 seconds, said Mr. Lemoncello. Bridget had saved the worst for last. Fyodor Dvorsky. Crime and Punishment, the one about the brothers, and then she stalled. She'd run out of gas. The buzzer sounded. I'm sorry, Bridget, said Dr. Zinchenko, but as we advised you, the extreme challenges are extremely difficult. You will be going home with lovely parting gifts. Kindly hand your library card to Clarence, and thank you for playing Escape from Mr. Lemoncello's library. That settles it, Kyle murmured. I am never, ever asking for one of those extreme challenge dealios. Me neither, said Akemi. I might, said Sierra. Maybe. And then she showed Kyle and Akemi the rumpled sheet of paper where she had written down 5 book titles for all 10 authors. All right, and we have reached chapter 25. We're about halfway through our book right now, and it keeps getting better and better. So I hope tomorrow you can, or not tomorrow, I guess it would be Monday, you can join me for chapter 25 and 26.